Good good evening everyone. I am CJ Angel Gabonada and I am the first reporter. So tonight we're gonna tackle about the Jewish literature and our literary piece is entitled The Prodigal Son. First, let's identify what is Jewish literature. Jewish literature refers to published creative writings by American Jews about their American experiences. So, in 1492, with the expulsion of Jews from Spain, this action set off a period of intense Jewish migration seeking to escape the clutches of the Holy Inquisition. Some Jews in the 16th century sought refuge in the young Calvinist Republic of the Netherlands. Jewish literature, in the broadest sense, is interested in the ways it mutates while remaining the same, how it depends on transition in order to create a global sense of diasporic community. Jewish literature is, is Jewish because it distills a sensibility, bookish, impatient, that transcends geography. It also offers a feelings of belonging around certain puzzling essential question made of bursts of constant and dissent. This literature is not concerned with divine revelation like the Torah and Talmud, but with the rowdy display of human frailties. It springs from feeling ambivalent in terms of belonging. It is also marked by ceaseless migration. All this could spell disaster. So, additionally, Jewish literature was not created only in the Middle East, but elsewhere as well, mostly in Europe and later America. Nevertheless, it is unique in comparison to both the Western and Eastern literature, and it did not only form the basis for the modern Hebrew literature, but it also contributed to the literature of the countries in which the Jews created their literary works. So, Emma Lazarus, who is the first significant Jewish American poet to react to the constant oppressions of Jews. Her poetry volume Songs of Semit contains her famous sonnet, The New Colossus, which was written in 1883 and 2 years later engraved in the pedestals of Statue of Liberty in the New York. So, next, Jewish point of view. First, they believe that they are the chosen people. So, as expressed in the idea, they have been chosen by God as a special people. The term implies that the Jewish people have been chosen by God to worship only Him and to fulfill the mission of proclaiming His truth among all the nations of the world. The second is they give importance to humor. Humor is prominent aspect of Jewish point of view. It is often a twisted kind of comedy to keep them from despair. Jews are able to laugh at themselves, so some of their best humor is self-mocking. The third is lay emphasis upon the power of intellects. The power to understand their own experience, to judge their own life rationally, to think well is considered a high virtue. The last is self teaching is at the heart of almost all their novels. The Jewish heroes often try to seek a rational interpretation of the world through their own experience in it. Next, Jewish literature is divided into four periods. The first period is the ancient Jewish literature. Ancient Jewish literature was dominated by religious theme. So In this period, this is only influenced by biblical literature and the rabbinic literature. So, the most important ancient Jewish literature work is the Torah or the Hebrew Bible. So, Torah has two parts. The Torah Shebektav, or the written law, which is composed of the 24 books of the Tanakh, and the Torah Shibal Peh, or the oral law. Hebrew Bible is a compilation of the first five books of the Hebrew Bible. The books of Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. The first rabbinic work is the Mishnah. Mishnah is an edited record of the complex body of material known as Oral Torah that was transmitted in the aftermath of the destruction of the Second Temple and 70 CE. So it is also the first major work of rabbinic literature. Rabbinic literature, also known as Talmudic literature, serve as an authoritative foundation for all aspects of Jewish life and self-identity in the following generation. Because of the lack of external historical witnesses to rabbinic activity throughout the period, the culture, religion, and history of this influential group can be described on the basis of these anonymous and collective works only. So it was written by Rabbi Yehoda Hanasi and 22 CE. Next, the second period is the medieval Jewish literature. In this period, this was not just influenced by rabbinic literature, but also the ethical literature, philosophical literature, mystical literature, various other forms of prose, including history and fiction, and various forms of poetry in both religious and secular varieties. The production of Jewish literature was flowered with the modern emergence of secular Jewish culture. So, in this period, kay daghan na ang naka-influence sa Jewish literature. And the one that example is the Pidgeot. Pidgeot is a Greek word, means poet, is a Jewish liturgical poem usually designated to be sung, chanted, or recited during religious services. Pidgeottom have been written since temple times. Most Pidgeottom are in Hebrew or Aramaic, and most follow some poetic schemes such as an acrostic following the order of the Hebrew alphabet or spelling out the name of the author. Additionally, Pidgeot is a type of sacred poetry, but as a usage developed, the term came to designate only poems of hymn character. The Pidgeottim were usually composed by a talented rabbinic poet, and depending on the Pidgeot's reception by the community, determine whether it could pass the test of the time. That's the end of my part. Miss Marielle would continue the third period of Jewish literature. Thank you.